4-4-2 for KFD. They can defend. We touched on it off the top.
The back line is absolutely solid. Geigley and Dardano are two players that you want to keep an eye on. Geigley already having 4 goals this season, and Dardano being the assist leader in the NCAA.
6 assists for Dardano. Carson Cherry, 5 goals. Louisville's doing it all so far. 19 goals, and they've allowed so far this season just 4. A goals allowed average at .57. Dayton's defense gave up 11 goals all of last season. They've given up 10 already. So this is a good test for them, facing a couple of Power 5s to this point in Purdue and Xavier. Those results did not turn out very well. They get a 3rd crack at it tonight.
Yeah, I think that they've been able to have those games, learn from those games too. So they're coming in as a team that is faced adversity, that hasn't had things go their way. They've had to overcome a lot in those matches. So this is a really good opportunity to see what were their big takeaways and have they been able to execute on those to make the changes necessary in order to take on big schools, big conference teams, and put away the win.
6-1 loss to Purdue, 3-0 to a top 25 team in Xavier. Louisville tries to push forward, rolling into the box. Batul Rita down to the ground and scoops.
That's courageous goalkeeping there by Rita to come out and be strong there. Looks like she just took a little knock, and I think it was from her own teammate kind of tripping over her there. But we talked in the pregame just how good she has been for the Flyers this season. But she's really going to be put to the test tonight.
Her 3rd straight season as the starting keeper. 25 wins. Goals allowed average under 1. Save percentage 79% or higher each of the last 2 years. That's outstanding. Dayton 4-2 coming in. We mentioned the Cards unbeaten at 5-0-2. Yes, the competition level hasn't been great, but this is a perfect final tune-up before ACC play.
They couldn't have timed this game any better in their schedule. Bringing in a team that has been prolific at scoring goals, has just been really solid, both offensively and defensively. This is a great test for the Cards to see, are they ready to face the ACC schools? Are they ready for the gauntlet they're about to go through?
I think gauntlet doesn't even apply this year. Is there something that describes something more difficult than gauntlet?
Yeah, anything that's more challenging. I don't know.
It's just absurd now. It's 17 teams, most notably Stanford being added to the conference.
The top 5 teams, 4 of them are ACC schools.
The top 4, I believe, based on the rankings, are all ACC.
1, 2, 3, and 4 are ACC schools.
Stanford, UNC, Florida State, Virginia. I mean, come on.
And then you got Notre Dame in the mix up there. You got Clemson in that mix in the top 25. So, I mean, and I think Virginia Tech is in there as well. So it's just across the board so dangerous.
Maybe a dangerous chance here for Dayton, and they score! Jenna Hallback bends it in from the top of the box.
And that is exactly how the Flyers want to start this game, coming out with a big goal. Hallback just recognizes this ball is coming out, takes a beautiful touch, and then look at the spin on the ball. Kaylee Kimball didn't have anything she could do to get to that one. The spin is perfect, slotting it right past Kimball. It's a beautiful finish there, and a great start for Dayton.
The transfer from Carnegie Mellon, a Division III school in Pittsburgh, with her 2nd goal of the season and her biggest since joining Division I. You mentioned Kaylee Kimball, her first start in net of the season. She's played 4 times off the bench. Aaron Floyd's been pretty steady there this year. The coaching staff likes what they've seen from Kimball. That was just a perfect shot.
Yeah, there was really nothing that Kimball could do to get to that one. The spin on it, the strike was beautiful, the placement was perfect. Hallback got everything right on that shot.
And we mentioned the poor results against Purdue and Xavier. 1 total goal in those matches. They were blitzed by Purdue right away. This is the response that Eric Goals in his 8th season was hoping for from his team that's had so much success the last few years.
100%. We talked about how Dayton is a team that has faced adversity, that has had some pretty bad losses and has had to bounce back and learn from those, recover from those. And having this sort of start in a big matchup on the road is exactly what he's going to want from his team.
Against a Louisville defense that had not allowed really any shots outside of the Cincinnati match. No more than several shots a game seen by the Louisville keepers.
Yeah, they've been so good, the back line as well, of just keeping teams locked out.
But it's Dayton on the front foot, 1-0, less than 5 minutes in. And here they come once again. Looking for Hallbeck on the near side. And Mackenzie Geigley with it for Louisville. 4 goals for Geigley this season. Karen Ferguson-Days, the head coach for Louisville, said, Mackenzie's a perfect example of the development process. Now in her junior year, very confident, applies coaching well, developed over her first couple of seasons when she wasn't playing a ton, and now she's thriving.
That's what you want as a player to develop throughout their time here, to be able to come in and gain those minutes, gain the confidence on the field. And I mean, Louisville is starting with 3 freshmen on the field right now and in critical positions, both forwards and A.G. Gibson there in the middle of the field.
You saw the note there. First shot on goal allowed in the first half at home.
Oh, yeah. Again, the Cards have been unstoppable, and we're finding out just how unstoppable they are. They now have a big test ahead of them to get back the goal, to get ahead, and they've got to start seeing if they can keep the ball a bit more. Dayton's doing really well with the pressure that they're applying, making it difficult for the Cards to be able to build out of the back, but Louisville has to continue have movement and connect in those 1-2 touch passes so they can progress up the field.
Unable to connect on the far side with Victoria Vick. Karen Ferguson-Days, her 25th season as the head coach, and a chance to go unbeaten past 7 matches to start the year for the first time since 2006. She said there's a lot of belief in her group to start the season. A much slower start last year. They were winless through their first 5. Opposite has been true this season. Vick scans and decides to turn back, at least for the moment. More possession here for Louisville. Dardano with 6 assists, tied for first nationally. Dangerous ball, and Rita punches a temporary clear.
A little shaky moments there for Dayton in the back. Rita, I don't even think she had a solid punch out there. She was just trying to get something to push it away from her goal face, and her teammates do a great job of supporting her and clearing that one away from danger.
The brightest offensive spurt for Louisville so far in the match. Everything else had been quick hitters from Dayton, including their goal from Hallbeck. Again, less than 5 minutes in. The bright spot for Louisville going forward is Dayton has relinquished quite a few goals this year.
Absolutely. This game is by no means, I think, going to be a 1-0 game. You've got 2 teams that have been scoring a ton of goals so far this season. I think the Cards definitely will fight back in this match. I don't think that they're just going to roll over, and that they have the talent and the ability to score multiple goals in this match. It's just a matter of, can Dayton hold strong defensively, and can they find a few more themselves? They definitely are capable of doing that, but they have the bigger task of going against a back line of the Cards who has just been so good.
Nearly a turnover that led to an open goal there, and Rita had to send it directly out of bounds.
A little too nonchalant in the back there for the Flyers. I think they're very fortunate that the forwards for Louisville were not able to get on the end of it there. Fina Davey making a run to apply the pressure. She almost gets there, but Rita does really well to beat her there and clear it away.
Davy with a goal already this season out of Delaware, Ohio, and Olentangy Berlin High School just north of Columbus. Had her first career goal against UAB. Liv Grenda, 5 goals this season to lead Dayton. Tied with Noelle Blaine. Scored in 4 of 6 matches this year for the Flyers. Out of goal, Kaylee Kimball. Transfer from Purdue, again, her first start of the season. Karen Ferguson-Days said they like the way she's performed, and she is breathing down the neck of Erin Floyd. They like that competition. Corner kick coming for Louisville.
And a great opportunity to see Carson Cherry potentially be able to add to her goal total on this one. I think it's no secret that she will be the target on this set piece. So I'm interested to see how many players do Dayton put on her? How do they mark her to make sure that she is not able to get a clear look on goal?
Keep your eyes on 22. First corner of the match. It's angled towards her, headed out. And a whistle will send it back Dayton's way.
We're talking about the Cards goalkeepers and just kind of the battle that Kimball and Floyd have had. It's such a luxury when you have the ability to have that healthy competition at practice, and you can kind of pick and choose which goalkeeper maybe fits the opponent better, which goalkeeper is performing better that week at practice, and you're able to switch it out a little bit seamlessly.
I think healthy is a good way to describe it, because I'm sure as you experienced when you played at Louisville, there are some position competitions that can get toxic at times.
100%, but I feel like goalkeepers have a better understanding because they know that there's only one person and you're probably going to have them play the whole game, and when you are the backup keeper, the likelihood of you getting out on the field are pretty slim, whereas if you are a forward and you are the backup forward, you're probably going to get a chance to get significant minutes in a game. So I think goalkeepers have that understanding. So when you can create a really good battle between your first and second, where really any keeper could be first at any given moment, that's exactly what you want as a team.
Shifty move to play back. That was Dardano. Davy trying to get on the end of it, headed up by Lauren Fields for Dayton. A volley try, Fields there. Settled on the foot of A.G. Gibson, and a turnover back to Dayton.
Cards just need a little bit more creativity, settling for some pretty difficult shots. And when you're going against a really good goalkeeper like Rita, you're gonna have to maybe work the ball a little bit more, get maybe a little closer to goal, so that way you have a better chance of being able to slot it past her instead of looking for long-range shots that give Rita time to adjust in her goal.
Davy wins this ball, long-range shot blocked by a back. Davy still bulldogging her way into the box, causing all kinds of trouble, and the ball sails over the crossbar. It was an open goal, and a stunned Louisville comes out empty-handed after the miss from Geigley.
And this is so uncharacteristic of Geigley. You see, when she goes to strike that ball, she's leaning back, and because she's leaning back, she's getting underneath the ball, and that's what forces her to lift it up over the goal. She wanted to watch the ball go in the back of the net. She wanted to see her spectacular moment. She's got to keep her head down inside of the foot and just simple one-touch pass it into the goal. It doesn't have to be pretty. A goal's a goal no matter what. She is definitely going to have nightmares about that opportunity there.
Is that just rushing mentally?
Yeah, that's when you are just so excited. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to score a goal. This is happening, that you start thinking way too far ahead and you forget about the details that you need to focus on to put the ball in the back of the net. We've all, any forward has done it. They'd be lying if they say they haven't.
I'm sure a couple of memories pop up in your mind.
100%.
Maybe another here. Dayton evades again with more pressure from Louisville. It is dialing up quick. Dardano Crosses. One touch wide left.
Really good stuff from the Cards. I like how they're looking to speed up play when they get in the final third. Good give and go here between Geigley and Dardano, and Dardano gets her head up and tries to find Catini there, making the near post run, just not able to redirect that one on frame.
You think there's some urgency from Louisville here in the first half?
I think there has to be. I mean, you're already down 1-0. You're trying to sharpen up before you start your conference play. There has to be a sense of urgency within the way that they're playing.
They have shown it, possessing the ball, dominating over the last 10 minutes. They're winning 50-50 balls time and again as well. Vic plays out. A squibber back in, sent out. And Louisville will set up shop at midfield. Here comes Hallbeck, who has the lone goal this match. The only shot for Dayton was their goal. Everything else from Louisville. It's a newer back line for Dayton. They're looking for answers there. A ton of experience. Quite a few fifth-year seniors graduated last season. So while the keeper's the same, that's part of the reason there's been some lopsided losses with that inexperience on the back line.
Well, and it takes time for players to, especially defenders, to learn the way that their teammates play. How do they like to defend? How do they step to the ball? When they're stepping, which way do they force them? And a lot of them probably are learning new tactics as well of, I'm maybe shifting into a center back position when I've played outside back. I have to learn about the spacing.
Geigley played that ball in. She'll take a shot and wide right. Does inexperience show up most on the back line or a different position group?
I feel like it's the back line because you're put under the most pressure. If you have a forward who's brand new and they don't score a goal or that they're running onto the ball, it's not going to be as noticeable than if you have a defender who's brand new, who's tracking a player back and they missed their mark because they weren't in the right position. That's going to stand out more than a forward not being in the right position. So I think that's where it's so nice when you can bring back a veteran back line or players that have played together across a back line, because you're already going to have that relationship, those bonds that are necessary across a good team's back line.
Part of the reason for Louisville's defensive success, despite the early goal allowed tonight, same back line starting all season and all upperclassmen. In goal, it's Ben Floyd before Kimball tonight. Dardano, Snyder, Cherry, and Sexton.
What's been nice, though, is in some of these matches, the Cards have been able to rotate some other players into the back line to get that experience, to get some minutes back there. Brooklyn Lee is one of them who's been able to come in as an outside back, try as a center back, and that's really been nice for Karen Ferguson Days and her squad, because if you do have an injury to one of those players who've been consistent back there, you don't just want to throw a newbie in and say, hey, good luck, figure it out, because that's going to cause some cracks, some miscommunication. So by having players be able to play in-game situations across a back line, it's really, really helpful.
And you have to give them that experience in the non-conference, because you can't afford any mistakes in ACC play, even from your backups if they haven't played.
Absolutely. And you can do it in practice. You can practice with a different back line, but there's nothing like a game experience. The energy out there, the nerves, all the emotions and feelings that go along with it, you can't really stimulate that in practice.
Dardano goes down, and out comes the whistle. Nick Balser, our referee tonight.
She does really well to draw the foul there. That's a veteran play. She recognizes that she doesn't really have much going forward. She feels the contact and draws that foul beautifully. And now it's an excellent opportunity for her, who has been the set piece go-to person. It's been her and Betsy Huckabee, the two kind of trading off there. But I imagine that Brooke Dardano will be the one to take this one, whipping a good service into the box.
It's those two lined up over the ball. Dardano, number 28. And she'll take it. Lofted towards the back post, and Rita skies for it, tracking all the way.
None other than Carson Cherry, the one on the back post, tracking that one. If Rita's not able to get that one, Cherry's heading that one in the back of the net for her 6th goal. So really good job by Batul Rita to come out and command her box the way that she did.
She had a career-high 9 saves against Louisville last season when Dayton won 2-1 at Dayton. And that snapped a 4-match losing streak for the Flyers against the Cards in the series. Dayton won the first 11 in the series, so 12-4 Dayton all time. It's been a program that's had plenty of success. 10 NCAA tournament trips. This goes all the way through and out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for UD.
That's a great service into the box and some nice runs there, just not able to get on the end of either of those, but a really nice corner kick opportunity here for Dayton. Corners are another thing that the Cards have not given many up this season, so this is a test for them because they haven't really had to do a lot of defending on set pieces defensively.
Kira Carfonta, goal against Louisville last year on the corner. They were searching on the back post for Ella Ramondi, but a little bit too tall.
It's a good idea because they're looking for Ramondi then to head it back across the goal face and then allow one of the runners in the box to run on and kind of get that second ball. It's a good look, it's a good idea, just not the right service needed to be able to execute on that play.
Hallbeck plays in, played out immediately. And here come the Cards. Dayton throwing. Again, Louisville trying to stay unbeaten this season, 5-0-2 to start the year. Their best start since 2019. Dayton 4-2 coming off a win over Western Kentucky. Their 3rd shutout of the season, a 3-0 win. And all 3 Dayton goals were in the first 30 minutes. So 2 matches in a row with a quick start. Played out by Hadley Snyder, the junior from here in Louisville, getting the first starts of her career this season. Molly Russell tries to flip the field, and Victoria Vick will find it on the far side.
I love that Dayton's looking to find those crosses, but they don't have a ton of numbers in the box. So if I were Dayton, I might be a little lenient about sending those balls in.
Hallbeck, long range. She was feeling it after the first goal. Again, 4-2. And their wins outscoring their opponents 18-1. It has been erratic this year for the Flyers, but then outscored by Purdue and Xavier, the only 2 power conference teams they've played, 9-1.
They're a team that can score goals, but they also can concede goals. And that's where what I was saying earlier about sending the balls into the box. If you're sending in these hopeful services with no one in there, you're just turning the ball over to Louisville to then allow them to try to catch you on a counterattack. I'd maybe like to see if they can keep the ball a little bit, work it back around, allow either more numbers to get into the box, or see if they can get creative with some combination play to break through the back line and then have a go from there.
And possession has been a strength of theirs the last couple of years, but the early pressure that Louisville applied, Dayton just has not had the ball much.
Well, I think both of these teams are teams that like to be in possession, that like to see the ball. But with the style that both of these teams are playing, I don't think either one has been able to really get into a possession rhythm, so to speak. A lot of the possession for both of these teams has just been working it across the back line and then looking for balls over top, just like Louisville has done here.
Vick in a battle, and Dayton wins it.
I don't think either team has been able to successfully utilize the middle of the field to be able to build up play, to connect through the middle, connect through their lines. It's been a lot of across the back line, look to play over top, or catch you on transition and see if we can transition from defense to offense as quickly as possible by 1 or 2 passes.
Yeah, sometimes the game stalls in the midfield in the first half, and we really haven't seen that much.
Yeah, there really hasn't been a lot of action in the middle of the field. It's been a lot of end-to-end. Either they're attacking or they're just moving the ball across the back line.
Rita sees her back line organized. Headed down to the midfield and set up for Dardano. Little bit of space for the on-running Davy. And Davy has a corner for Louisville.
Really smart play there by Fina Davy to recognize she doesn't really have anywhere to go on that and just knocks it off of the defender to earn this set piece. Very, very smart play.
Just a freshman. Couple of subs for Louisville. Gianna Angelillo with a goal last match in the 2-0 win over UT Martin. Emerson Jennings in for Victoria Vick.
Bringing in some fresh legs. Both players have immense skill and speed. So bringing in some fresh legs on the outside to see if they can spark something.
Punched up by Rita, still inside the box. Huckabee chips back in. No numbers there for Louisville, and easy going for Rita.
Another set piece beautifully dealt with by the Flyers. You can definitely tell that they watched their scouting report on that one to understand where do the Cards like to play the ball in these set pieces, who are their go-to targets, and how do we make sure that we clear this away from danger. The advantages of film.
And the ease of acquiring film has only grown the last decade or so.
Just pull it up on those streaming services instead of having to like message the coaches for it.
Another corner for Louisville. You're telling me they didn't have huddle back in your day?
What? I don't know.
In the corner once again for the Cardinals, number 2, Betsy Huckabee.
Former Louisville player Casey Whitfield, Jack Kaiser, glad to have you along with us tonight. Under 20 to go here in the first half. Dayton scoring less than 5 minutes in on a goal from Jenna Hallbeck. Huckabee to take the corner.
It's an easy grab there by Rita. Huckabee's service just a little too lofted for that type of set piece. When you loft the ball in there like that, it allows the goalkeeper time to be able to come and judge it out of the air. When you drive it in there, it's obviously going to be a faster moving ball, which allows for less reaction time for the goalkeeper and also makes it easier for your teammates to be able to redirect it on goal because they don't have to generate power on it and placement. They just kind of have to redirect it and get the placement right.
Is that the type of ball you preferred when you were inside the box?
Yes, a driven ball is a lot easier because the lofted ones, again, it's hard to judge in the air, and then getting the power to beat a goalkeeper on it is very difficult. So you're going to see more success on set pieces with more of a driven style ball than a lofted one.
Plenty of success on set pieces this year for the Cards, specifically with Cherry. But so far tonight, no shots for Cherry. 5-2 in favor of Louisville with shots. Whistle awards to the Cards.
I think if you're Louisville, you have to begin to keep this game going at a fast pace as we approach the end of the first half. Can they see if they can work the ball a bit more in their attacking half, get more possession there, get players like Huckabee, A.G. Gibson involved?
First subs for Dayton. Laney Smith checks in for Hallbeck, the goal scorer tonight. Louisville subs once again with Amelia Swinarski in for Lauren Catini. Swinarski had an assist against UT Martin, the freshman out of Madison, Ohio.
Cards looking to press the ball really high up the field, forcing Dayton to have to possess inside their 18-yard box. No team wants to possess the ball that deep.
It's a lot of work.
It is, and it's a high-risk situation, too. I mean, if you make one bad pass, you're turning it over in the most dangerous area on the field, whereas if you're possessing just right outside your box, at least think maybe you give your goalkeeper a little bit of time to react if you make a mistake.
Cards on the push here. Trying to possess, and Dayton will send it away. Let's go to Abigail with more on the Flyers.
Yeah, the Dayton Flyers historically have beaten the Louisville Cardinals 12 out of the 16 times that these two teams have matched up. It has been a very, very challenging game for these two teams, and I'm very interested to see how the Louisville Cardinals will adjust to the Dayton defense. Back to you.
Yeah, Abigail, it's an adjustment for Louisville, trailing 1-0 5 minutes in. It's a totally different style that they have to play and deal with. They've been on the front foot all year.
Yeah, this is completely uncharted territory for the Cards, so it's a really big test of how do they react and what changes do they make to be able to break down the back line for Dayton, because we talked about Dayton, you know, being shaky in the back, but they've been really solid so far this game. Even in the moments where maybe they were caught out of position, they did well to recover and really stop any sort of threat that the Cards have been able to have. The Cards not even having a shot on goals so far this game. They have 5 shots in total, but none of those have been on target to challenge Rita.
The one from Geigley with an open goal that went over the crossbar was by far the best look they've had. Everything else has been relatively easy for Rita to handle.
Again, that one's really gonna haunt Geigley there. It's one where you see the glory, you see the victory, but you gotta make sure you see the ball hit the back of the net.
And hit down on it, right?
Stay over top of it. Lean back, it's gonna go over.
Kimball touching for the first time in a while. Again, not much possession for Dayton. This match, it was up and down early. Dayton capitalizing when Louisville was a little bit out of sorts near the box with Jenna Hallbeck. And Kimball will send it up the far side. Molly Russell to Diana Benigno, a graduate student from the local Dayton area in Beaver Creek, had an assist against Louisville last year. Brings a lot of energy to this team. Strong touch for Huckabee. And Louisville wins it back.
Louisville has still just looked so comfortable defensively. They're so quick to get set in their shape that it makes it difficult for Dayton to be able to have a counterattack or be able to release their forwards the way that they want to do, because the Cards recover back and all the players drop back, and they've been good at possessing out of it.
That's experience and decades of discipline
100%.
defensively from Karen Ferguson days.
That's buying into the system and understanding what your defensive principles are and then executing on them every single time. What is your identity defensively? And you've got to get everyone to buy into it.
And from a broad point of view, defense has been the identity for Louisville in recent years. The struggles have more so come with scoring goals, but now that they have 19 through 7 matches, it's been a complete performance, and that's why they're unbeaten.
When I feel like when you're in a conference like the ACC and you're playing the top teams in the country, a team like Louisville has got to have defense be the core of who they are, because they will do a lot of defending in matches. So that has to be their true identity. And I feel like this season now they've been able to add the layer of scoring goals on there. 10 players finding the back of the net so far for the Cards, being able to already outscore their entire last season, having players like your center back be one of the leading scorers on your team. You're adding the layer of offense to your identity.
Karen Ferguson Days calls it having a blueprint and letting them improvise within it. And they've done that well so far this year. But behind 1-0, under 10 to go in the first. Liv Grenda, 5 goals this year. Grenda takes a rip at it, and it's way off.
You saw exactly what she wanted to do there. She cuts it to her left foot, and she's looking to get that one to bend far post to beat Kimball. She just doesn't get the bend on it. A little bit too straight of a shot from her, but you see it right here. She cuts, and she's looking to hit that far post. Just again, not able to get the bend and the placement on it that she needed.
And that is such a fine line between bending it perfectly and having it sail way left with the placement of your foot on the ball, right?
It's literally like millimeters. And it also depends on like which part of the foot you hit it with. And if you hit it with the exact right one, it's gonna be a beautiful goal every time. But if you're off just by a smidge, you're gonna completely shank it.
Space in the midfield. Molly Cochran. Angelillo. Huckabee pushes forward, trying to find Brooklyn Lee. Nothing there, and out of bounds.
Some good ideas from the Cards, just kind of going backwards a little bit too much and not being willing to take players on. Players looking sometimes for the passing option instead of challenging themselves and seeing if they can go one-on-one, especially on the wings. Players like Emerson Jennings, Gianna Angelillo, I'd like to see them try to go one-on-one with those defenders and see if they can get on the end line, get sideline, and then send a nice service into the box.
You'd like them to be more aggressive.
Yes. I feel like sometimes right now it's a little bit too passive, and it's understanding time and score. I mean, you've only got 8 minutes left in this first half. Why not go all out and see if you can really put some pressure on Dayton? Goals are most goals are conceded within the first 5 minutes of a half and the last 5 minutes of a half, because teams are either trying to get their bearings straight or they've checked out for the break coming ahead. So this is entering that critical time of where they could capitalize on that 5-minute period.
Whistle and a tug. Looks like it's against Dayton, and a free kick coming for Louisville.
Dayton dropping back every single player, except for maybe one that is maybe in line with the ball, but getting every single player back behind the ball to get set up for this set piece, to not make it easy for the Cards to get any sort of look on target.
Now Louisville plays in. On the backside with the chest. Just not able to corral. And some frustration there for Angelillo, who nearly was able to put a shot on goal in the box. Headed right back out near Cochran. Trying to turn it back. Down she goes. No whistle.
Another close opportunity. Big play from Rita to push that one away. Cochran not able to get the space she needed inside the box to get a shot off.
Really outside of the 5 to 10 minutes directly after Dayton scored, their defense has been just fine.
Their defense has looked really good. They have been solid. They've been able to get set in their shape. They're looking more comfortable as this game has gone on. And I think the longer that they're able to hold on to the lead and keep Louisville locked out, the more confident they're going to be, because they've been able to shut down a team that has been scoring goals nonstop. So really, if they're able to continue on this way, their confidence is just going to go through the roof.
Benigno. Dayton just trying to hold the ball a little bit. Riley Kerber, the Boston College transfer. Tackled away and back to Louisville.
Great tackle there from Angelillo to slide in and be able to knock that one not only out of play, but off of the attacking player and earn a throw-in for her team.
Louisville trying to transition quickly as Swinarski goes wide. Under 5 to play in the first half. And perhaps a little bit telling with the last match for each of these two. Dayton with one of its better performances of the year against Western Kentucky. 2 of the 3 goals, Eric Goals said, were strong. They were really solid goals. The execution behind it. And for Louisville, 2-0 win over UT Martin, but not the prettiest.
No, it definitely wasn't their best performance. You have a team that is coming off a high with a great win, and they're showing that. They're flying tonight. They look really, really strong. And then you have the Cards, who struggled last game, a little sluggish so far to start the game. They're starting to get back into their rhythm, but the sharpness in front of goal just hasn't been able to be the same as we've seen in previous games.
Swinarski up ahead. Angelillo on the run. Dayton gets there first with Bree Mendoza on the back line. The freshman out of Knoxville showing some speed. Clock at 3 minutes. We'll see if either team makes a late push. Jenna Hallbeck, lone goal this match, opening 5 minutes of the game.
Well, and really, Dayton, that's been their only shot on goal as well. Neither one of these teams really able to be sharp in front of goal. Dayton with 3 shots, the Cards with 5 shots. So the defense is doing their job for both of these teams, keeping them locked out.
Saw Hallbeck on the sideline there from just south of Dayton in Centerville. Cochran does a 360. Louisville looking for a cross and nobody there, directly at Rita.
It's a good look there from Jennings. She hasn't been able to get on the ball a whole lot there on the right side. She creates just enough space to be able to get the service into the box. But again, not a lot of runners in there, not really a threatening service, forcing Rita to have to make a crazy save. It really just went right to her.
It felt like the opening 10 minutes of the game were just volatile, and both teams have significantly settled down since then.
I couldn't agree more. I think this game has definitely settled quite a bit. It's going to be who can be that game changer, who can bring back that spark of energy.
Maybe it's Angelillo right at Rita.
Rita going to be taking her time, getting up, getting the ball back in play. Both teams, I think, eagerly looking for the halftime break, kind of regroup, come up with a new plan of what they need to execute in the second half for Dayton to continue to carry out this win, for the Cards to get back into this game and take the lead.
1 minute remaining in the first half. 1 minute.
Defense for Louisville has been outstanding outside of the opening 5 minutes and that one shot really from Hallbeck. So nothing new there, but Louisville not operating the same way offensively that they've shown through the first 7 matches where they're unbeaten at 5-0-2. .20 seconds left, and Dayton seems content to possess, hold a 1-0 lead going into halftime. Chance for the Flyers to win their 2nd straight against Louisville. Do it on their home turf. They've got the edge at the break. 1-0 Dayton after the goal from Jenna Hallbeck, her 2nd of the season. It was a beautiful bender from the top of the box, and just the... And here we go in the 2nd at Lynn Stadium. Cards will move left to right in this half. Atul with her first touch of the match, really solid, commanding her back line. Again, a 3rd-year starter, outstanding career numbers. For an inexperienced Dayton back line trying to figure that part out of it early on, they've had an anchor to command them this season in net. Three total shots for Dayton in that first half. 2 of them from Hallbeck, 1 from Liv Grenda, their leading goal scorer this year. 2 shots for Geigley, 2 for Catini, 1 for Fina Davy for the Cards.
And I think Lizzie Sexton and Brooke Dardano have got to be more involved offensively in this second half. In previous matches, those 2 players add so much when they're able to run down the flanks, get involved in the attack, do some overlapping runs with the outside forwards. They haven't been able to do that as much this game because the Dayton players are staying higher up the field, forcing them to have to drop back. But at some point, those 2 need to get involved in the attack.
Swinarski trying to get involved here. Crowd of white jerseys and out of bounds. We started the show by saying what's real, what's not. Louisville unbeaten, 5-0-2. First time at home. They're trailing going into a second half. We're going to get a good look at a new situation for Louisville and how they react.
This is exactly, though, I think, the test that Karen Ferguson-Days would want for her team. Obviously, she does not want to be down, but she's really going to see what her team is made of. Are they able to fight back in a match? Are they able to fight back in a game where things haven't necessarily been going their way, where they haven't been as sharp as they've been previously in the final third? Who steps up, and who is the player that takes charge?
And of course, as a coach, you want your team to execute. You want to win every match you play. But it's got to be helpful, regardless of the outcome tonight, to see how our team does react in this situation, because that will almost certainly come up at some point in the ACC.
Oh, it for sure will. And this is going to create a great learning opportunity for the Cards to see how do we fight back from adversity and how do we overcome struggles in a game.
Dayton with some early offense once again. Kimball, ball still loose here, and a whistle. Kimball took some contact.
Just a bit of a late challenge there by Noelle Blaine there, coming in late on Kimball. We're going to get another look at it. It's a good service into the box. And you see just there on the back post, Kimball comes for it, and it's just a big collision there. Looks like catching her in the head a little bit. Glad that she is up and okay and able to continue on in this match.
Keeper can be a very physical position when you're vulnerable like that, coming out from net.
Oh, yeah. I feel like keepers, I've always said this, have to be a little bit crazy to come out the way that they do. I mean, think you're coming at a player that's running full speed and you're coming out trying to stop them. No, thank you.
Yeah, you think of catcher in baseball, you think of keeper in
Right,
soccer. It's
right.
just going to be wired a little bit differently.
Very courageous people.
Yes. Good to see Kimball still in. Aaron Floyd, the regular starter. And presumed starter going into ACC play, but Kimball getting her first start of the season tonight against a good Dayton team. Fields plays back to Rita. More pressure from Louisville.
Good possession, though, from Dayton to be able to stay composed when the Cards are running full speed at you. Very nicely done to possess out of the back.
Consistency, composure, and confidence. The three keys for Dayton and Eric Goals coming into this match. Composed pass to Kimball there. Not very composed. Back to Dayton. Here's a strike, and it curls just wide. Grenda nearly sent it home.
I love that Dayton is continuing to knock on the door. It's a great little look, gets her head up and recognizes that Kimball might be cheating a little bit to the middle and is going to look for that near post. It's an excellent look there.
Grenda with her 16th shot of the season. Not a ton of activity shot-wise for Grenda the last 4, just 5 total shots. Still 5 goals, has been productive. Just a freshman out of Percy, Pennsylvania. A lot of talented freshmen for this Dayton team. 3 winning seasons in a row. Last year, 13 wins, unbeaten in A10 play. The issue's been St. Louis, who has won 6 consecutive A10 tournament titles. Fields forward, and Benigno able to control for Dayton. This is Grenda once again. Grenda knifes inside, shot is blocked. Bounces out Benigno, service back, headed out. Right back to Benigno, and offsides.
Really good stuff, though, from Dayton down the right side, making some nice runs there, sending some good services into the box. The Cards back line is really being stretched here because they're trying to push numbers forward to generate more offense because they haven't been able, even in the second half, to really create much going forward. So they're trying to send some bodies forward.
Turnover once again. Grenda has been on the ball frequently the last few minutes. Dayton has as a whole. Russell inside, headed backwards and wide.
Some more shaky moments here. Nice ball in, and she looks to flick it on, but it hits off of Brooke Dardano to go out of bounds. Kimball kind of cheating towards the back post, thinking that's where the ball is going to go. That one could have trickled in as an own goal, but regardless, great corner kick here for Dayton to go up 2-0.
Just the second corner for Dayton this match. Carpanta. Headed in. That was an awkward sequence as Kimball went down and Dayton extends its lead.
Talk about uncharted territory. It's a great service into the box and just wide open there on the back post. Beautifully done. It looks like Kimball's view was obstructed a little bit, kind of blocked there by Hallback.
That was completely it. That header did not have much on it, but with Hallbeck essentially acting as a screen, it went right by her.
Looks like they're going to review to make sure that players were all on sides, that there was no obstruction with Kimball that was illegal by any means. And if you look at it there, I think this one is going to be coming back. I think Hallbeck is offsides, and that's what they're going to be looking at. There is potential for that.
Yeah, 18 and white.
Happens, look at where she is standing, and if she is in an offside position, even though she doesn't touch it, she obstructs the view of Kaylee Kimball and therefore is a part of the play. So this is going to be a tight one to see, because she moves out of the way, but because of her positioning in front of the goalkeeper, she is technically making a play on the ball and therefore obstructing the view and is in an offside position. So the Cards might get lucky here. We're going to see what the referee decides.
Word to both coaches. Eric Goals with a grimace. Karen Ferguson-Days with a nod.
Waiting for the official word to see what it is that he's going to decide. Here we go.
No goal. Offside.
I absolutely think that's the right decision. As unfortunate as it is, if you look right there, she's offsides and she makes a play. She lifts her leg up right there, and that is making a play towards the ball. Therefore, she is going to be offsides. If she doesn't make a play for it, runs in the other direction, maybe then you have an argument for a goal, but you cannot be in an offside position and make a play towards the ball. It's going to be offsides every time. So the Cards catching a break there on that one.
A massive turn.
Yeah.
Still some issues for Louisville with the way that Dayton's been getting chance after chance to start the second.
Well, the energy level for Dayton is just at an all-time high. It seems they're putting a lot of pressure on the Cards, and the Cards haven't dealt with a team that has pressed them this much.
It is a totally different Dayton team than the first half, despite scoring that early goal. Here they come again. Cross to the back post. Grenda, no. Second try, no. They are coming after Louisville.
I love the aggressive energy, and you look here, it's a beautiful ball in, not able to get contact. Great defensive hustle there from Lizzie Sexton to get back, and then this one again, just trying to chip it over top of Kimball there to put it on target, but just isn't able to get the right loft on the ball needed to end up in the back of the net. But Dayton knocking at the door to get that second goal. They have definitely been dominating this second half, leading with shots. They've now increased their total, doubled it to 6 now. The Cards still sitting at 5.
And that was Hallbeck, who nearly had her second. Handball, yep. Closer range set piece coming for Louisville.
Here's a chance for them to see if they can turn the tides into their direction, see if they can get a good service into the box, get that first shot on goal again. 5 shots, but none of them on goal. Can they connect here and get a look on target? As we get another look at the handball, arm is just up in an unnatural position, gonna be a handball every single time.
Huckabee and Dardano. Huckabee fakes, Dardano chips, nearly headed on by Cherry, a little bit high.
That's exactly who you want to find on the target, just not able again to execute on it. It's a good little looping ball over top, but just a little high for Cherry to get anything on it to even challenge Rita.
Again, Cherry with 5 goals this year, all on set pieces, and leading the nation among defenders in goals scored this year. Swinarski flips it out wide for Geigley. Cards trying to respond after an early wave from Dayton. had a goal called back due to offside. Cross in, Rita there, and the whistle blew first.
And the Cards still struggling to see if they can get any sort of momentum or get anything going offensively. The creativity just hasn't been there for the Cards in this match.
And you feel like you've seen more of that through the first 7 matches than you did to start last year.
100%. The offense for the Cards was on fire in the first few matches. They were able to have so much creativity, numerous players getting involved, great 1-2 combination plays, nice little runs in behind, and I feel like they haven't been able to break through with that in this match. They've had moments of it where they've tried to do it, they've looked to do it, but just haven't been able to properly execute on it.
Got the speed. And the cross with nobody there. Got away for a moment, Geigley in the vicinity. Dayton trying to counter. A fortunate bounce. Granda stops, plays for Benigno. Plays ahead, Molly Russell trying to stay onside. Back to Hallbeck, angling in. Hallbeck looking for another bender. Upstairs, it's off a Louisville player and bounces to Kimball.
Good quick attack there from Dayton. Hallbeck, I like the idea to cut inside. She's looking again to kind of repeat her goal from the first half of that inside of the foot bending ball into the back of the net, just not able to get the placement on it, hitting it into the defender. The Cards do well to recover.
You're right, she's confident in that move and her ability to place the ball right now.
And that's what you want from a forward. If a player is feeling themselves and is confident in that, you absolutely want them taking that shot every single time.
Hallbeck watches it roll out of bounds. Three shots tonight for the junior out of Centerville. Again, transferring back from Carnegie Mellon in Division III to be closer to home. Second goal of the year this match. Also has assists in the last 2 against Purdue and Western Kentucky. We mentioned adjustments coming into the second half. How about the adjustment for Dayton? Really not much possession at all in the first half, despite leading 1-0, and they have just come out firing.
They have come out as almost a whole new team. The energy has been so much higher for them than it was in the first half. And when they win the ball, they're trying to transition quickly.
Louisville trying to transition quickly there, back into the attack with a repress, nothing going. But everything seemed a little bit crisper for Dayton. A lot of space for Hallbeck. They don't see her, or at least choose not to go that way right now. Jack Kaiser, Casey Whitfield, Abigail Cole down on the sidelines. 1-0 Dayton, about 15 minutes into the second half. Hallbeck keeps it in play. And her teammates too far behind. Subs for Louisville, looking for a spark. Lauren Catini, Amber Jackson into the match for the Cards.
Amber Jackson is a player that we haven't seen so far in this match, and she was the game changer for them in the very first game where against Bellarmine. She was the only player to score a brace in that match. 6 different goal scorers in that 7-0 win, and she was one of the players that was able to capitalize a couple times for the Cards already. So looking to see what she can bring to this game.
Takeaway for Louisville. Poked away from Catini. Jackson and Dardano have been great additions for Louisville by health. They missed last year with injury, and both have been massively impactful on the offensive end as they've gotten healthy and been playing quite a bit this year.
I think not only that, but a leadership standpoint as well.
Jennings plays it back in for Louisville. Hangs in there a little while, but no problem now for Dayton. Huckabee takes a long running volley off the crossbar. It had to be perfect, and it was inches away.
We've seen Huckabee score from this distance. She does so well to take that off the half volley, looking to see if she can catch Rita just slightly off her line there. A great look from Betsy Huckabee from far out.
And let's go to Abby.
Thanks. It's a brand new team dynamic this year, especially with new assistant coach Olivia Mills. On the defensive end, they've only let in a total of 4 goals in 7 games compared to last year's 25. On the offensive end, they have already surpassed last year's 15 goals compared to the 19 that they have already in 7 games. I'm very excited to see how they will match up against a more competitive conference team coming up, such as Pitt this weekend. Back to you.
Yeah, we all are, to see how they react to a heightened level of competition. And this is a jump for sure tonight against Dayton. It's been a very competitive match. 1-0 Flyers, but across the board, as you saw from the stats defensively and offensively, like Abigail mentioned, very much improved, much stronger start this year for Louisville at 5-0-2.
100%. This is a totally different U of L team than what we saw last season. This team has been able to come together as a unit quicker, be able to get solid in their defensive shape, been able to see success offensively with scoring goals, which is something that they really struggled with last season. And now they're having the moment to be able to fight through adversity of being down a goal and having to battle back in the game. So they're getting to see all sorts of aspects that are going to become very, very regular in the ACC. It's going to be something they see week in and week out, so that the fact they're getting this experience early on is going to help them quite a bit.
They're going to have to be at the top of their game, essentially facing a ranked team almost every match, every other match. It's just absurd. Lizzie Sexton trying to find Catini. Louisville's ramping up its pressure over the last few minutes, highlighted by the Huckabee shot off the crossbar. Here comes Huckabee again, takes another shot, and this one's way off target.
It's a great step there in the middle of the field. Beautiful read there from Betsy Huckabee, just not able to get the placement on the shot that she needed, looking to go back the back post. Maybe should have looked to try to hit it near post or a little higher in the air to get that one on target.
Talking the ACC slate, there's no breaks. None.
There's no breaks. You look at that schedule, it is a tough one. It is going to be very difficult.
Yellow card, our first of the match.
The yellow card presented to Louisville's number 21, Angelillo.
That goes on Gianna Angelillo. Her first yellow card with Louisville, transferring over from Miami over the offseason.
Yeah, and it's just a late challenge here. She doesn't make a play on the ball and completely takes out Benigno there. Gonna be a yellow card every time.
Long service intended for Russell. Rolls towards the corner and out of bounds. Approaching the 25-minute mark. Louisville's got some work to do. Connections in stride. Angelillo cuts it back. Rolls past Cherry over to Sexton. Cherry up for Jennings. Ramondi on the job. Bowls her down and no call.
Yeah, I think that's just shoulder-to-shoulder contact there. Emerson Jennings is looking to get around her, and I think she was already going down when the contact was made. I think that's a good no call there. Both players battling for the ball.
It happened a little bit late, but there was some significant contact there.
There was, but I don't think that there was enough to really say that that should be a foul on Dayton.
And that's coming from a forward.
Exactly. As someone who would get so frustrated by plays like that.
Uh-huh. You've come a long way.
I've tried really hard.
Rita says, let's do something different here. Space wide. Looking for Lainey Smith, a freshman out of Fort Thomas, Kentucky, in Highlands High School. A couple of goals this season. Sub for Louisville. Piper Davidson coming into the match. 5th time that she's played this year in place of Angelillo.
Piper Davidson is one that we've also seen come in as an outside back. So excited to see her move up the pitch a little bit, get some time in the outside forward, outside midfield kind of position. I'm also hoping that it opens up the door for Dardano to be able to make some runs, some overlapping runs, more combination play down that left side.
When Louisville had its flurry early, Dardano was on the ball a bunch, and we have not said her name very much since then.
Well, and even in previous matches, Lizzie Sexton and Brooke Dardano were involved in several attacks because they were pushing high up the field. They were bringing the ball down that their flank side. They were able to get involved in the attack, and we haven't seen either one of them really be able to push up the field and help with the offense. They've been bogged down having to defend this entire game because Dayton is keeping players high up the field, and Dayton has done so well when they win the ball to quickly transition that Dardano and Sexton have not been able to push up the field.
Louisville trying to push up the field here. And stopped right around their attacking third line. Benigno down. Controlled in the center, sent out wide for Sexton. Jackson, freshly into the match, turns upfield. Jennings chooses wide. Jennings, service, back post, Rita down, and a whistle on Louisville.
Rita again coming strong in her box to command and win the ball. Just a little bit too much contact there from Catini coming underneath her. It's a dangerous play to cut off the pathway of the goalkeeper like that. Absolutely. That maybe as it dropped there at the back post, someone would be there to tap it in.
Again, taking the brunt of physical contact, she has the respect of her teammates immensely. She's out to retrieve once again. The players love her, and they also love her mom, Sada, who will bring homemade Lebanese food every time she comes down from Dearborn, Michigan, about 3 hours away in the Detroit area.
Well, why didn't she come bring us some food?
We're calling for it now.
You gotta bring some down to Louisville.
Some of that homemade hummus sounds really nice.
That is so amazing. I absolutely love that been able to create that relationship. She's able to come and support her daughter and feed the team as well. That's always critical. We're
getting word from the control room right now that hummus apparently Not common in the diets for them.
Oh, we'll just take it. It's fine.
Yeah, more for us. But Rita loves the pressure of the position at goalkeeper. She actually started out as a forward in rec league. One game, the goalkeeper doesn't show up. They shift her. Rest is history. Physical near the midfield. Geigley involved for Louisville, and she's whistled for it.
Yeah, Geigley just getting a little too excited there, trying to reach around and win the ball, and it's right there that she steps on the foot of Carfonta there.
Under 20 minutes to go, Dayton leading 1-0. Cards trying to stay unbeaten, 5-0-2. Dayton's goal came less than 5 minutes into the match. There's been nothing since then. Chance at an open goal moments later for Louisville. Geigley missed it. Dayton also had a goal called back this half due to offside. Is that offside? No. Comes out of the grasp of Kimball. Here's a shot. And off Louisville out of bounds, leading to a corner. Little shaky there for Kimball.
Kimball very fortunate there. She comes out to get the ball and just doesn't time the bounce correctly. And so it just bounces right off of her. She's trying to say they knocked it out of her hands, but she doesn't have possession of the ball. I'm surprised there wasn't a foul as she used her hand to take out Blaine on that one. Corner kick, though, for Dayton. Shaky moments for the Cards.
Trying to give themselves a chance down the stretch. Carfonta. Pinballs. And booted out. Benigno plays in. Laney Smith, high shot.
Not a bad look there from Smith. She cuts inside and has tons of time and space before a red shirt steps to her. Again, just doesn't get over top of the ball to be able to blast that one in the back of the net.
Maddie Bowman running on. Dayton still in control. Bowman cuts it back. Runs it along the end line. Out of bounds.
Oh, Bowman does everything right on the inline but the service, just getting underneath it too much to allow any of her teammates to be able to head that one away.
Not a far drive from Dayton. Small group of fans made the trip. About a couple hours. Part of the reason these two have met quite a few times over the years. And again, it has been Dayton has gotten the better of the Cards most of the time, leading the series 12-4.
Just seems like when the Cards are picking up the ball, they don't really have many options to play it to. A lot of players just kind of waiting for the ball to be played over top or for the perfect pass to come to them. There has to be more movement and interchange amongst those players, and you see the giant gap between the midfield and the front players. You have to have someone kind of come back in there to be the anchor between the lines.
A connector.
Yes, exactly.
Sexton on the ball quick. Snyder will send it towards the box. Geigley able to keep it in. Geigley sends it back the other way, headed right at Rita. The best sequence for Louisville of the second half.
You thought maybe they And Geigley does so well to fight for possession there, and it's a really nice header coming in there from Piper Davidson on that back post, but Rita does well to recover across the goal face and be able to collect that one cleanly.
Davidson's first shot of her career nearly tied the match. Hallback back in place of Lainey Smith. Liv Grenda in for Maddie Bowman. Fina Davey will check in for Amber Jackson on Louisville's side with 15 to go. Centering pass, Catini. That's a takeaway in quick fashion for Molly Russell. The perfect angle for it. Russell scanning, plays it up. Grenda sends it back across. Louisville has numbers back, and Kimball corrals.
It's a great pickup there in the middle of the field by Molly Russell, and I love how she runs at the back line, not afraid to have the ball at her feet. A lot of times players look to immediately pass out of that, but I love that she was confident enough on the ball to run at the back line. Just unfortunate that her teammates couldn't get up there and better support her.
Outside of a couple moments in this half for Louisville, there has just been nothing in the attack.
No, I really don't think that in the first half the Cards had the better of the game, but I think this second half Dayton has had the better of the game.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. Momentum, strong push in the back from Sexton, and that'll be a yellow.
I feel like that was a bit of a frustration foul from Lizzie Sexton. And she hasn't been able to be as free in this match as she has previous games and be able to be on the ball, to be a part of the attack as she has in previous matches. So maybe just a bit of frustration there from her of not being able to have the success that she would like.
Hit the brakes at the stoplight a little bit late. And Carfonso went down hard. Takes a breather. Had the opening goal last year against Louisville in the 6th minute, so it's been Dayton with early starts against the Cards that has led to success. Upcoming schedule for the Flyers. They've got a big gap between Thursday and their next match after that against Loyola Chicago.
Yeah, Thursday, their final game out of conference before they begin conference play in the A10 at Loyola Chicago. So some big matches for them.
Dangerous ball into the box, sent back out. And we're gearing up for conference play all around when the good stuff starts, and then it is a month sprint to the finish line. Season always goes quick. Ball still loose, Kimball out, whistle on Dayton.
Dayton looking to slow this game down when they can. Stepping in front of set pieces, taking their time on set pieces. It's a very smart play. The Cards are beginning to look like they might be running out of time with less than 13 minutes left in the game to be able to get not only an equalizer, but a go-ahead goal.
It's going to take a mistake or a massive shift in the way this second half is going for Louisville to be able to equalize.
Absolutely, because Dayton has just been flying.
You've been waiting all game for that.
Like a little pun for that one there. I mean, you got to do it. I mean, especially when it's true.
I'm impressed with your restraint until there was 12 minutes left.
Thank you so much. I was trying to wait the whole match.
Nothing there for Fina Davey. At midfield, Louisville trying to possess a little bit. Geigley. Service was blocked. It was Carfanta. Geigley shake and bake through 3 white jerseys. Sexton plays on. Davey trying to make the turn. Not able to earn the corner. Missed opportunities today for both teams. You look back to this one for Louisville in the opening moments, and it really stings. Huckabee off the crossbar in the second half, and Davidson a header right at Rita not too long ago.
Just so many chances where the Cards feel like it was right there. It was at their fingertips. They could see it. They could see the glory, just not able to capitalize on it. And I feel like in previous matches, those would have ended up in the back of the net.
Cherry plays it comfortably away from Liv Grenda. Ayasaki sends it out as the Flyers push forward again. Just over 10 minutes left. What a hezzy there to spring free. Cross handled well by Louisville. Maybe a counter chance for the Cards. 3-on-4 right now, but that is major speed from Hallbeck hustling back. Davey now coming on. Other Louisville players still trying to catch up, and Rita right on the end line smothers it.
That's really good defensive work there from Dayton. You see them going on full sprint, every single player sprinting to get back because they know what this game means. And on the flip side, little disappointed in the Cards. A lot of them are sitting so far deep and they're just kind of jogging to get up and support their teammates. There was only 3 players going against about 6 or 7 Dayton players. The Cards have got to be committed to this game, and if they want to get back in it, they've got to do the work on both sides, and that means being willing to sprint up and down the field to support your teammates.
Really all half, it feels like they've been a step slow.
Yes, just kind of a step behind, not really reading the game and anticipating what's going to happen, but more reacting to what Dayton is doing. So instead of trying to impose their style and dictate the way it's going to go, they've been allowing Dayton to be able to do it and then just kind of reacting to how they're playing.
Well, I do a lot of Dayton pressure, not much from the Cards outside of a couple of moments that we just showed. Whistle on Dayton, a tug with Sexton going down.
Yeah, it's a foul there. Grenda just getting a little bit too much of Lizzie Sexton there, pulling her back. You could see Sexton go off the ball. Just a little too handsy. If she's patient there, she has some support. One of her teammates is coming to help her out. Just be patient and keep the defender going backwards.
Benigno, Grenda, Hallbeck. Hallbeck goes outside and gets a corner for the Flyers. It wastes some time and sets up a dangerous chance.
Key there is waste some time. It allows them to eat seconds off the clock as they have a nice little jog over. You see Emerson Jennings going to get the ball to help them out to try to speed this game up. She's going to set the ball up for them so that way they can't waste as much time, but a lot of time coming off the clock here.
Dayton averages 7 corners a match. That's second in the A10. They do it frequently. High ball to the back post, headed out by Louisville. Whistle on the Flyers. Cardinal down. 8 minutes left.
You talked about the Cards having urgency in the first half, and it definitely looked like they did. They're going to need to get some urgency now as we're under 8 minutes in this game. That's not a lot of time for them to be able to not only get an equalizer, but a go-ahead goal and to kind of shift this game into their favor. They're going to have to get some momentum, some energy going in their direction.
It's starting to feel like set piece may be their only solution, especially considering Carson Cherry with what she's done.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a player like Carson Cherry who has been so successful on set pieces, you're going to have to find some more of those. And we have one here a little far out, I think, to be dangerous. But they're going to have to figure out a way to draw some closer to the 18-yard box, closer to the goal.
You got to get that set piece. You got to have the ball close to goal, and they just haven't had it much. No shots today for Cherry. And Rita will bounce it. Seconds continue to tick away as Dayton is on the verge of its second straight win this season. Its second straight over Louisville. And certainly its most impressive win of the season on the road against a Cards team that's unbeaten this year at 5-0-2.
You got to think about how this game is going to help Dayton if the result is able to hold, help them when it comes to postseason time. And, you know, that comes down to the resume and looking down at that, who's going to make the tournament. A win like this is going to be a big win for them and could potentially be the difference between them making the tournament and them not.
And with what Dayton's shown in conference the last few years, going unbeaten in conference play not out of the question, so this win could loom large.
Absolutely. I mean, they're picked second behind St. Louis, who is currently ranked in the top 25 right now, so a massive opportunity for them to be able to get a signature win, to build their resume and start thinking about making postseason play.
They have been in total command here in the second half. A team that lost 3-0 to Xavier, 6-1 at Purdue. Just came unraveled in those moments against each of those power teams and able to just control the second half today. Got an early goal, settled in defensively, much more disciplined and Dayton-esque based on what they've done the last couple of years. Whistle, Louisville ball, under 5 to go. To Geigley. Geigley trying to create. Huckabee sends it back. Through traffic, sent to Sexton. Sexton cuts it back. Looking for a long-range shot. Snuffed out immediately.
Lizzie Sexton fully capable of scoring from that distance, but with the way Rita's been playing a goal, it's going to be difficult to beat her.
This is a fortunate bounce. Here's a shot, and it's high. It was Jennings.
Another one where it falls right where you want it to fall, and she just gets it underneath it, not able to get her hips around it, get around the ball to get it on target.
Do you think a pass back there to the center was possible for a better look?
I think at this point in the game, a player's mind is not going to be thinking about passing it there. The shot's always going to be the first choice. I think if that's where the communication has to come in, like, hey, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open. To maybe get that one, but it's a difficult shot. It'd be a difficult cross as well.
Pittsburgh on Saturday, road match to start ACC play. Louisville beat Pittsburgh 3-2 here last season, 8-3 all time. So they'd like that trend to continue. Start ACC play on the right foot. Ranked team in Virginia Tech. NC State here at home. We'll have that one on ACC Network Extra. And they start that gauntlet with North Carolina.
I mean, and think about that. Of their next 5 games, 4 of them on the road. Very, very difficult.
But that'll lead to more home matches later in the season.
That's when you want to be playing at home, too. And
Yes.
you want to be playing at home against some of these top-tier teams, especially bringing Stanford in. The last thing you want to do is to fly all the way out there to face the #1 team. Bring them here and see if you can get a really big upset at your home field.
Yeah, long flight to Palo Alto to face #1. No, thank you. But they're excited for the opportunity here at Lynn Stadium, mid-October. It'll be on ACC Network. Two defenders going at Sexton. Throw in for Louisville. 2:15 to play. Sexton into the box. Played out. Snyder with under 2. Headed back past the 18. Tackle won by Dayton. There was contact, but ball first. This is valuable time ticking away as Louisville scrambles to try and win it back. Hallback cuts across. Only goal this match from Hallback in the opening moments. Carfanza working towards the corner, trying to pin the ball there and wind the clock under 1.
Yeah, Dayton's just looking to eat time off the clock. You're not going to see them going for a shot or really trying to get anything really threatening offensively. They're just trying to eat time off the clock.
.50 seconds remaining, high chip. Ramondi heads it out of bounds. Throw in for Geigley, 40 seconds. That was out of bounds off Louisville, and Swinarski pretty clearly just a late whistle. And with 30 seconds left, Dayton's got to throw in. They'll take their time, barring some massive mistake right now. It is going to be Dayton to come out with a win. Clock stops at 18 seconds, still with Dayton here. The Flyers, the shutout win over Western Kentucky on Thursday. Defense has struggled at times, a couple of matches specifically. Giving up 9 goals combined to Xavier and Purdue. Dayton shuts out Louisville on the road, and an early goal from Jenna Hallback, the difference. For the second straight year, it is